Hey guys, how are you doing today? We are playing Magic the Gathering Duels of Planeswalkers 2012 and I'm your host, Nemo. Wait, what? Your host is no name? Yeah, that's right. I just had some Siamese egg. Yeah, that was two birds in one egg. I had a double yolk and also a double joke just now. Yeah, see what I did there? Haha. So, talking about birds, let's go into the deck manager and look at our deck that is made to be about birds and the special kind of birds at that. Dragons. Roar! Yeah. Alright, that should be enough puns for now. Please don't shoot me because I make too many jokes. So let me preface this by saying that Dragon's Roar is one of the worst decks in the game, and while I'm able to get more wins than losses with the deck, it's barely. I just like with trend developments, but I do feel that the deck build I'm about to share is probably the best way to build it. Okay, so the first thing right off the bat I want to be talking about is the fact that let's throw just some random cards in to make 60. Yep. We have 25 lands here, as you can see. When we have a 60 card deck, and we also have two Dragonspeaker Shamans and two Ruby Medallions, which make our big spells cost less. Which means that this deck, well, if you consider this to be ramp, which it sort of is, considering that this deck really just, instead of playing multiple stuff in one turn, it really wants to play one big dragon each turn, and wants to ramp up so it has the mana to do that. So I consider it to be ramp. It's slightly less reliable because obviously a Dragonspeaker Shaman is easier to kill than a land, you know. So I consider that to be less reliable than ramp. But let's think of it like ramp, right? So when you have a ramp card, you can count it as half a land, and I've said this in the Trinity of the Elements deck build as well. So we arrive at about 27 lands, which is quite a large number for a general deck runs about 24 lands. Then you know, a combo deck like or a deck like Trinity of Elements runs about 26 lands. And then on the other side of the scale, you know, an aggro deck, full on aggro, would run 22 lands. And then you have decks like Ancient Depths, which would have to run about 30 lands when you include the ramp in it. It's half a land for each ramp card. So 27 lands is quite a lot, and the deck kind of needs it because it's all about the big dragons. And given the fact that we do have 27 lands, that also means that we probably don't want to make this an aggro deck. So you know, the deck that I had in mind at first was to, you know, keep the biggest dragons in there, the best dragons. You know, this one is great, this one is really good, this one is amazing, this one is good enough, and you know, just have the biggest and best dragons in there. But what I was talking about it in the deck build, and then I was editing my own video. You know, this was like a week ago, and I was editing my own video, and I was going, you know, what problems does this deck have? Well, it usually has too much land, and you usually get a bit, yeah, you get to the point of either A, you don't have enough land, which you know sometimes just happens with a deck like this, or B, you have the land but you don't get the dragons. So you know what I decided is might be better, and I've been testing it since then, and I've decided that indeed it is better. It's very simple. You see this card here, the Voracious Dragon? Yeah, this is in. And everything to the right of it is in as well. Yeah, that's my decision on how to play this deck. You leave every single dragon in there. And you leave the Breath of Malfegor in there as well. And then, when you mulligan, you just hope to get a land flooded. Because you're going to draw that dragon. There's plenty of dragons in this deck. So you just hope to get like 5 lands in one hand. And then you're good. And that's how the deck runs now. So the first time I tried this out, you know, it was kind of an experiment, and I was trying this out. I was playing it against Apex Predators, and the guy put down 2 Rites of Flourishings. And I was like, okay, this is gonna be ridiculous. And then I played every dragon in the deck pretty much. uh, that was a cool game. Oh yeah, and he had a bunch of dudes out too, and he couldn't even kill me with Overrun. I had so many dragons. And then I dropped Malfegor and killed all of his permanents. Anyway, yeah, that was pretty ridiculous. But the deck seems to run fine this ways. You know, I'm gonna monitor it, of course, a little more. For now, it seems that this is the better build, so I'm gonna go with this build. So, what do we take out? Well, Gravedigger isn't really needed when you've got this many bombs. You're bound to draw another one. And plus, the Gravedigger isn't worth using until you've drawn a 6-cost dude. So why is it? I mean, the only reason I'd play it is because it's a 4-drop. But you're only gonna play it after you've played your 6-drops. Unless, of course, you've got Mr. Dragonmaster Outcast, which is the only dude who really benefits from having Gravedigger to get him back. But you know, that's just one card in the deck. It's not worth running those just for one card in the deck. So 3 more dragons, Furnace Whelps, and I also feel that for Crucible of Fire is now worth running because I have so many dragons. It's gonna be pretty ridiculous when you have that as well. Normally I wouldn't run in the older deck. I didn't run it because I felt that it, took the spot of a dragon, and I'd rather just have another dragon. But I've got plenty of dragons now, so I'm not gonna worry about that too much. So we take out Rally the Forces because this is about having about like 3 dragons out, and by that time you're gonna win the game. And the +1 damage, doesn't do anything for you. So nope. Goblin offensive. If I'm gonna play 6 mana and get 3 dudes, why would I not rather just have one big dragon? So no, that's not worth it. Giant Scorpion is a good card, and I ran it in the other build, but this is one of the cards that has to go out in this build just to make it possible to run this many dragons. And one thing that sucks about it is that you don't have that many swamps, but I feel that the black cards you do have are still going to be worth running even with only 5 swamps in the deck. I think I took out Slavering Nulls as well. He's good, by the way, he's good. Because he discards a card, and when he works, he's great. But I found this deck isn't an aggro deck, and you don't have enough ways to make sure that he's gonna stick. You don't have enough ways to make sure that they can block him, and you're gonna get in to discard their cards. If this deck had that, then I would definitely run him, and I indeed did run him because usually the opponent will waste the removal on him or something. But in this build, nope. Goblin War Driver can go for a very simple reason. It's 2 red. And I already have mana problems as it is, so nope. Goblin Pikers can go because I'd rather have the Dragon Fodder because it's more goblins for my Voracious Dragons to eat. And it is 2 chump blockers instead of 1. And Dragon Claws can go, and Raging Goblins can go because I don't run an aggro build here. This is all pretty sweet removal. Dragonspeaker Shaman is amazing. Earthquake is good enough. One thing with this deck is it sort of, I've never seen Earthquake work correctly. um, Especially not when you have Ruby Medallion out. There's some kind of weird bug with that. I don't know what's going on, but I'm always very careful to use it. And when I have Ruby Medallion out, I try to use it for 1 less if possible. Then instead of like you don't want to use all the mana you have on it if it's not needed, because sometimes it starts synchronizing and you've only done 1 damage with it or something. It's just weird. So be careful about that, but it's still worth its spot in my opinion. If you really hate the card, then you could take it out for the Goblin War Driver. But I don't think Battle Cry is needed when you have 3 big dragons. Or you can throw in a Giant Scorpion. Actually, let's do that right now and see what happens. Because nah, it doesn't help in the mana department. So if it isn't gonna help there, then I don't think it's worth it. And Earthquake does work very well in the synergy with this deck. If you have a bunch of big flying dragons, that works. Festering Goblin, great blocker. Sometimes it's a 2 for 1, and generally it just keeps them from wanting to attack you if they have something like a Gelectrode out or whatever. And Gelectrode can't kill him obviously because then you kill Gelectrode in response. So yeah. Pretty good. Pyroclasm, even though you have a bunch of small drops, It's not a lot still, and you know, again, something you can use to keep the opponents from attacking you. And your really important guys, which are the dragons, won't die from Pyroclasm. So yay, of course, your Dragonspeaker Shamans will die. Yeah. So always be careful that your Dragonspeaker Shamans live. When you're mulliganing, you know, sometimes it's rare just to have an extra land than a Dragonspeaker Shaman, because at least that's a guaranteed land drop. Whereas the Dragonspeaker Shaman can get killed. But you know, it's still a good card. But it's one of the few cards early on that they're gonna use their removal on. So keep that in mind. Manic Vandal is great, destroys an artifact, you know, and if you want to, you can use him as 2/2. Unfortunately, he is not a goblin. Yeah, did I just say if you want to, you can use him as a 2/2? Huh. Yeah, that happened. So, I like to wear my Manic Vandal as a 2/2. No, okay, no. Just no. Let's not get into it. Furnace Whelp can be a game winner on his own and will probably eat removal or eat up a big blocker. So he's great, you know, as a 4-drop. Usually you play him turn 4, turn 5 you don't have much to play, and then you know you can attack with him and use all his mana, and then turn 6 you can use big dragon, and usually by turn 5 you'll be able to kill some kind of blocker with Furnace Whelp trade there, and you know, killing a 6/6 with your 2/2 is always good. There we go with the 2/2 again. I kill myself. And I actually sometimes do that with. Okay, come on. Alright, so Breath of Malfegor I feel is worth it. It does take a swamp, but you know it's one of those cards. It just is worth it because you deal quick 5 damage in instant speed. Sometimes you have them both, and you know you use it at the end of their turn, 5 damage to you, and then at the start of your turn, 5 more damage to you, and then they're dead, and that's pretty amazing. But you know, an extra 5 damage, you know, it's a lava X for cheaper usually because you'll have a Ruby Medallion or something out. Makes it cheaper, and it's at instant speed. How is that not good? Yeah. Even though we don't have that many goblins in there, I still feel that the Voracious Dragons are worth it because they're your only 5-drop dragon. We have 5 drops now and 4 drops, so I feel that's a good mana. Use of the mana, and then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 6 drops, and 1 7-drop. Yay! But with 27 lands, it sort of works out. So I don't feel that I have too many big guys. And like I said, the trick is to mulligan to get a hand that you would normally call mana flooded, and then you're going to draw your dragon. Alright guys, I hope this was informative. Wait, stop. Okay. Hey guys, I am back to talk about this deck a little more. Because I want some more stall in the game, and I want some more swamps. 5 swamps is kinda doesn't really guarantee me getting a swamp. So I put in these 2 scorpions and take out this win more card and this win more card, which comes out 2 turns later than you really need it to. So yeah, he's big and all, but he's just way too costly. Don't you? No, just no on Furyborn Hellkite. So yeah, and that's the deck. And something else you could do is throw in the like Assassinates. No, just no. There's no way I'm ever gonna throw in the Assassinates. I hate those cards. They're terrible. But Gravediggers, I mean, they're not great. Like they cost 4, but you don't really want to play them on turn 4. You want to play them on you know, after you've played a dragon and that dragon has died. Then you want a Gravedigger to get it back. But if you're gonna Gravedigger to get a dragon, why not just get another dragon? Like you could have drawn a dragon instead of drawing Gravedigger. So he's not great, but he does give you more swamps in the deck. So I guess, I mean, you could put in the Gravediggers and then like take out Pyroclasm and Earthquake, because yeah, those 2 cards. Because Pyroclasm is a really good card, but I'm not sure it really fits this deck that well. Simply because you do have cards like Furnace Whelp and Dragonmaster Outcast that you don't want to have die from a Pyroclasm. So sometimes you can't even play your Pyroclasm without wrecking your own side as well. and other times you're just waiting for him to play more dudes so you can Pyroclasm and then lay your Dragonspeaker Shaman, which delays your whole plan, and I'm not sure that's worth it. And Earthquake is kind of bugged. Like I said, sometimes it starts sinking and all of a sudden you've only done 1 damage with Earthquake. And I hate when that happens. And it sucks because Earthquake is a really fitting and really good card for this deck. But you know, that's something you can do. Personally though, I don't like the Gravediggers that much, and I'm not sure um, it's worth that extra swamp. So I'm just gonna reset Pyroclasm back in and throw these 2 dudes out because you know they're all right. It's just a choice. I mean, I'm not saying this is better. I think it's pretty. It's not that black and white. It's just. I mean, you're up. You can make that choice yourself, right? It's yeah. It's a 50-50 for me, really. I just don't like Gravediggers myself. Anyway, this was the deck build for Dragon's Roar. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope it was informative. Didn't I already say that? Yes, I did. Come on, Nemo. Pay attention to what you're saying. And I don't have a name, and next time I still won't have a name, and I will see you then. Bye bye. Anyway, that's the deck. See you guys next time. My name will still be Nemo then. That's the deck. My name has been Nemo. My name will still be Nemo next time. See you then. Bye.